Welcome to Winning on Wednesday. My name is Juan Vitas, and the purpose we're here is to simply get to know each other. I always say people do business who they know, like, and trust. Speaking of knowing, liking, and trust, I'd like to introduce my guest today, Ryan Stambaugh. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, Juan. How are you?
Good, good, thank you. And can you please quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Stambaugh. I'm based out of Pennsylvania. I'm in the AI automation business. We just exist to empower small business owners to implement the elite level systems that AI is. And a lot of people don't understand those and kind of bring that down to Main Street and give them AI driven automations without all the overwhelming tech that a lot of people might be afraid of. So,
I listen. I'm looking forward
well,
to talking about the AI because I'm a tech geek at heart, and but first we want to get to know who you are. So take us all the way back. Where did it all start? Where were you born?
I was born in York, Pennsylvania.
York,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania. Wow.
yeah.
So tell us, how was it? How was it like growing up in York, Pennsylvania?
It was good. I don't have too many complaints, honestly. We grew up in the country, worked on my grandparents' farm throughout the summer, and then during the school year, once I was old enough, I worked for my parents in the evenings and weekends in their businesses as well. So it was no less a busy upbringing where I would come into school and look dazed, and people say, "What's wrong?" And I, I was like, "Well, I was up till 3 a.m. working, all night with my parents, so I was a little tired."
Wow.
But yeah, and then I played soccer as well. Started on varsity from freshman year, so that was enjoyable. Um, and just had a really good upbringing with my grandparents, like I said, in the summer on the farm,
Mm,
working. So at the time, I wasn't enjoying it as much as I
you,
should have. But now I look back and I'm glad. I was glad for those moments.
I was gonna say, do you miss it? Do you miss working on the farm?
In certain ways, I do. Yeah,
Really?
I do miss it with my cousins and my grandparents when they were still alive and everything. So yeah, it was a good time. At the time,
Uh,
you know how you are when you're a teenager.
of course, yeah.
You don't appreciate those things, and
No,
then
you
after,
know,
oh my gosh, I should have enjoyed that more than what I did. Right?
right, right, right. And during the time, I know you're a hard worker. Did you have any aspirations? Did you want to become anything, or any ideas when you were? I mean, when you were saying this is what I'm going to become a farmer, or I'm going to be doing this, or I want to get out of the farm. I mean, what were you thinking at that
Yeah.
time?
Well, I underlying, I did want to own the farm actually, and that kind of fell through, and that's a whole other story. So I didn't end up with that. But really, what I wanted to be when I was a kid, when I grew up, was a race car driver. That's really what I wanted to be. But the money was not there,
Yeah.
so it's not a cheap sport.
No.
So I never got into that until a little later in life, and did some, had some fun times with that. But yeah,
Don't
never was able to pursue it.
don't you hate it when you realize, when you learn as a business person, like, like, yeah, driving race cars sounds great, but then when you learn the business aspect of how much it goes into maintaining the car, the team, the money, the budget, all the parts, the labor, it's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that gets involved with it, and you don't realize it almost like takes the fun out of it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's so much involved. And my son actually professionally races go-karts, so he's kind of pursuing that without me even telling him to,
Oh, good,
pursue my
good.
dream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It could be perceived that way, but it definitely was not. It was all him just bugging me, bugging me, bugging me. And even that, which karting is supposed to be a bit more economical than race cars, right?
Right.
But it still ends up being an expensive sport for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I know. My kids play some sports. I mean, my son plays lacrosse and football, and the equipment's expensive too. For all that stuff, all that. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
required because it's for protection. God forbid you don't want them to get hurt or anything like that. But
Yeah, exactly.
you mentioned hobbies. I mean, working? I mean, do you have any hobbies or interests that you had back then that you still do, or anything that you?
Oh, I really got into this is so wrong. I got into skipping school and trading the stock market with a friend of mine. Um, and this was the dot-com bubble and a little bit afterwards. So to this day, I now actually program algorithms for trading, and so that's one of the things I do as a hobby.
Oh wow.
And on my 18th birthday, uh, I went skydiving. And so ever since then, I've been an extreme sports guy. So anything
Uh,
that's crazy,
wow.
from skydiving to base jumping to climbing mountains, whatever it is, I've either done it or plan to
It
do it.
it's adrenaline. You like the adrenaline. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
just
that's my
yeah.
thing, right?
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. I'm totally different. I'm totally different. Like
Stay
this,
on the
play safe,
ground, man.
stay on the ground, stay in the water. I'm like, that's fine, man. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So what you go to school for? Tell us about that and take us to that
Yeah,
journey.
yeah. I went to Penn State for economics, so that was great. I really enjoyed it. I love anything dealing with economic statistics, um, financial modeling, all that type of stuff. So it was a good time. First 2 years were in York at Penn State York, and then I went to main campus after that. So and then finished out the degree. So it was enjoyable. Learned a lot, and I really dug into it because I enjoyed the subject. I wasn't going to school because mom and dad told me. I was the first in my family to ever go to
Yep.
college, so that was a
Same
first
here.
for
Yeah.
everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But so yeah, I chose my major and I went because I enjoy it, not because mom and dad told me I had to. So
Right.
I liked it. Yeah.
And what was your first job out of college?
Ooh, I worked in commercial real estate doing economic analysis for real estate investment trusts. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Sounds
So
like
that was
fun. It sounds like fun.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was for me because my perspective was a little more long term in the sense that I knew I wanted to build relationships in the industry and then also get into commercial real estate investing on my own long term. So not only did I enjoy the economic side of it, but I enjoyed the fact that I was meeting people in an industry that I really wanted to continue in and be a part of. Yeah.
And then from take us from there to what you're doing now. I mean, it's a big journey. It's a long journey. So tell us.
No, well, well, so I went through that. I owned a couple of my own small businesses during that time as well. And then I also, so here's a funny story. A friend of mine that I met at the firm I was working at, he goes, "Hey man," he says, "You're not really here just for this job, right? You wanna do something more with this?" Yeah, of course. So we come up with this idea that we're just going to lowball offer a bunch of real estate properties that are on the market for maybe more than a year. And we're just going to see what sticks. And we end up with an 18 unit in my hometown. And I was working down in Maryland and Washington, D.C. at the time, but we end up with this 18 unit property. And we had no clue how to get it financed. So we just start going around to people and just asking if they know anybody. And he gets a meeting with an attorney in Baltimore, and he says, "No, you do all the talking." I was like, "You know him? I don't know the guy." "No, no, no, you do all the talking." I said, "Okay." So I go in there. I just say, "Hey, sir." We give him the full breakdown, financial projections, everything. And I just said, do you know anybody that would be interested in this?" And he just goes, "Me, yeah. I'll write the check for the whole thing, and you owe me."
Wow.
And so we went, okay. And so we got started. We rehabbed the whole place. Well, half of it really needed it, but the other half wasn't too bad. We built that up and ended up selling it. And we went back to him and said, "Hey, we sold it for this. We know we owe you this plus, your rate of return." And he looked at us and he says, "No," he says, "You don't owe me anything." And
Holy cow.
we looked at him and he says, I, I didn't do this because of profit. I did this because I saw two young guys that had ambition and had no idea how to get started.
Holy cow.
And so I wrote the check. And we later found out that he was writing seven-figure checks for his own real estate investment properties. So this was, a very small deal for
Hmm.
him, but it was a huge deal for us, right? Because
Wow.
we got that so cheap because it was run down
Yeah. Yeah.
and had that huge upside that worked out really
You
well. So
you keep in touch with that guy, or I mean,
yeah, yeah,
oh
no, I
wow,
do actually. I
good.
just spoke to him about 2 weeks ago. He texted me out of nowhere. We were back and forth, and then I called him so we could talk for a little bit. But
That's amazing.
yeah, yeah. And then after that, I just had what I'll call the monkey on my back and joined the military. So I
Yeah.
went into the
Well,
army after some corporate work and my own business stuff that I had going
and,
on the side,
and
and went in for a very specific job and went into U.S. Army Special Forces and became a Green Beret.
oh wow.
And
Well, thank you for your service again. Wow.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. It's been a wild ride, and I did that for 8 years, and now I've been in the Guard, the National Guard. So I got out of active duty service and went into the National Guard, same position, Special Forces. So they have it as like a part-time thing now as well. And I just got back from a 10-month deployment about 2.5 months ago.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
again,
that was a big it was a big learning curve, and I'm glad I did it. I was getting what would be considered a little older, right? I didn't join when I was 17, 18, and it actually worked out for the best because what they look for in people that are trying out and going to selection for to become a Green Beret is guys that are much more mature. They have a higher maturity level. They have that decision making capability.
right,
So it's a little bit different the way they kind of sift and sort out who they want and who they don't. Not to mention the physicality of the whole thing. Um, but yeah, so I made it through everything, made it through all the training. It's about 2.5 years of training pipeline, and then went to a team and started working and developing that. And yeah, like I said, now I'm in the National Guard, and about a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, I started my AI business and started working with firms and just reaching out to contacts I already had contact with and businesses, and started building automations and really learning it on my own, figuring it
right.
out, and teaching myself, watching every video I could, reading all the latest industry articles and everything I could. And then
Right.
I had that deployment come up, and so I
Wow.
took a little 10-month break,
Right.
and getting back into the swing of things. And now I'm pretty much full steam now, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was a little bit of an adjustment there
Um,
for a few weeks.
how long have you had your company now, or your
Yeah, about a year and a half.
year and
Yeah.
ago? Now I know there's a certain time I think before you get certified, right? Because you could qualify for as a veteran, right? Veteran owned
Mhm.
business, right? Because there's a lot of contract bids and a lot of stuff. I mean, that
Mhm.
you can apply for.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't looked into any of it as of yet. That's one thing that I think now that I do have
Yep.
kind of a little more of an open window in front of me for the next few
Mm-hmm.
years, that I might pursue as well,
Yeah.
just because of my history, and
Uh,
I do have a good fair amount of contacts in that area. So
Oh yeah, I could have. Yeah, like I was just saying, because it's like a brotherhood, right? It's a fraternity, it's like a
yeah.
brotherhood, and in a business you can use that, camaraderie that you guys
Oh yeah.
have, and a lot of these people, it's the network is huge, it's huge, and
It is. Yeah. Well, and when you go on these deployments, of course, we work with so many contractors, contracting companies
yep.
that contract for the computers, they contract for
Mm-hmm.
this, they all these different things, right?
It,
And I have all those names, so it's one of those
it,
huge
it,
opportunities for that. Yeah.
it goes to what I say. What people do business who they know, like, and trust, right? So that you
Yeah.
know and like and trust these people that that. I mean, in this case, you trust them with your life, because
Yeah.
you have to, So these are people that you would definitely highly would recommend. And when it comes to business, what other to trust, business people that you know.
Hmm. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is the truth, and
Or,
especially from my realm, uh, coming from a even much more tight knit community, which is special operations. It really is like a small town. Everybody knows everybody.
right, right. Uh, at this point, I like to say the golden nugget moment, which is something that you learned from your experience, from your journey. What piece of information you'd like to leave behind, like a golden nugget, so people that are listeners out there that can listen, that something that you learned, your experience, and something that they can better them as a person or better their career, or be a better person overall. What have you learned that you can share with us today?
Yeah, I would say I'll draw from military experience because I think that that's something that is really good when it comes to lessons learned, and to pass that on to maybe people that haven't had the same experiences. And I went through a 2.5 year training pipeline, right? And I went through some other leadership schools, graduated Ranger School. So I went through basically all that the Army had to offer. And I can still remember, and even this most recent trip here, anytime that I go out on a real operation, I almost have a bit of deja vu. And the reason is because the training was done over and over and over again, right? Some things 1,000 times or more. And I had that deja vu because I felt like I was just doing the same thing in a different place. And so, what I tell people in business, how it relates, is the most important aspects for me and things that I tell other people is discipline and consistency. If you have those, then when you're not sure what to do in business, or you have a tough decision to make or whatever it is, if you've been disciplined and consistent with teaching yourself things, learning more, connecting more, diving into whatever industry you're in and really knowing it, then you'll have that fallback where you'll just be able to speak about what you do or fix the problem that you're facing, and it'll just work out. So that's kind of my nugget, is that discipline and
Uh,
consistency, that good
uh,
training, no matter what industry you're in, will take you to that next level.
Agree. I 100% wholeheartedly agree with that, and I always say consistency is definitely key. It's definitely that you need that discipline. Those two go in hand together because you do need that discipline. I mean, I'll give you a quick thing. I don't, but I lost 80 pounds in
Hmm.
the last 6 years, but I've been consistently going to the gym every week. So going to the gym every week consistently, um, it has worked out to my favor. So, and you'll see results, but it didn't
Yeah.
happen overnight. You know.
No, no, and not to go on that tangent, but that is one of the number one things people ask me. They're like, "How are you so in shape?" And I just go, "Look, everybody's journey is different,
Yep.
and whether it's you, I mean, that is awesome that you lost that amount of weight,
80
right?
pounds. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I like that is a great story.
Thank
And
you.
but what I always tell people is I go, look, you will not see results in your first couple of weeks or maybe even your first month or two.
Right.
But if you decide that this is a 3 to 5 year thing, and
Yep.
then once you do it for that long, it just becomes a lifetime thing, anyways,
A
right?
100%.
And so once
Eh,
you are so consistent, it creates a habit. And once that habit's formed, you're undefeatable, no matter what it is. Fitness is the easy one, right? But no matter what it is, you're undefeatable.
the task and everything becomes much easier. In the beginning is very tough, and you may see it's like a hurdle, but just it's chipping away all the time, chipping away, and over time you look back at it, and now 6 years later, wow, it's so easy I could do. I don't want to show off, but I did a record of 135 pounds squatting, right? Did it for
Yeah.
25 times rep. 25
All right.
rep,
There you
100,
go.
135. My ultimate goal is to do 100, but 25 was what I got up to. So I'm
Yeah.
getting there. But
Maybe one
you took
step
it
at a
to
time.
you took it to a guy who used to do only four. I was
Oh,
struggling, and that
yeah.
was the plates at
There
each
you
side,
go.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
back in my heydays, back in when I was a lot younger, I used to do three plates on these at 325, squatting.
Yeah.
But I hurt myself. But you can't do that. I can't do that anymore. But I'm just taking a life. I'm going for more reps now.
Yeah. Yeah.
More
No, that's
repetition.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was great. And the other thing is I just wanted to ask you was, do you belong to any networking groups or organizations or communities? I know you visit us to Winning on Wednesday, so thank you so much for coming to Winning
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Wednesday. But did
I
you?
can't name that one.
I know. I wanted to, but yeah, do you belong to any others?
Yeah, so I still belong to Baltimore Real Estate Investors Group, but I would tell you that an organization that's near and dear to my heart is the Green Beret Foundation, and the reason is because, and some people I know, but some any Green Beret that's passed away, their families are taken care of. And specific
It's
examples are their children's college gets paid for.
wow. That's
Uh,
beautiful. That's
the
beautiful.
wife's mortgage, the house that they're in, gets paid
Wow.
off.
It's a
Things like that.
brotherhood. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
brotherhood. You guys
yeah,
watch out for each other. That's amazing. I didn't know. I had no
yeah,
clue, but
yeah,
that's just wow.
yeah.
That you guys
That's a
take care of
huge
each other.
one for
And the
big.
fact
Yeah,
again, thank you for you again, and you guys protect our country, save our freedoms, and thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Really,
yeah,
and people forget about that, but it's a good. That's amazing. I'm glad that you shared that with us because I had no idea, no clue.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure
No,
a lot of
it's a
people don't have ideas of what this is good. This is the beautiful that comes of it, the negative
yeah,
and then the positive. I mean, we have wars negative, but the positivity of serving your country and then having the family, that's amazing.
yeah, yeah. The strength of community.
It's love. It's love.
Yeah, and the love of people that take
Love.
care of each other
That's
is
beautiful, man. Thank you
awesome.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
We need to hear more of those stories nowadays because we don't have enough of that. But yeah, thank you. Um, we're gonna go now. We're shifting to the business world now.
All right.
We're gonna talk about your business. Finally, after all this, we get to do what? What is that, Ryan? What does the Ryan do?
Yeah, yeah,
Which is
uh,
great, right? Right? It's kind
yeah.
of
No,
backwards, a little
no,
bit different.
it's actually better this way because it gets you understanding the person over the thing, because the thing is easy, right?
Right.
You can go to someone's website or you can have a conversation with them, and because you know that you might need their services, you'd like to hear more about it, but really it is about getting to know the person, understanding who they are. That way you can have a conversation too, right? I look forward to
100%.
conversations I have with people, from here forward on Winning on Wednesdays. Now
Right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's a
beautiful.
positive experience for me. I love
You know what's so nice? You can share these videos.
it. Yeah,
Like you can share the links, because you go to my website, you can always see the past interviews and you can always share that. So that's
yeah,
wonderful that I always do that it's connecting to make it easier for people to connect.
yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Speaking of connected, so tell us about AI.
All
Things we
right.
could do with AIs.
Yeah, oh boy.
Help small teams with
Yeah, yeah,
big
yeah.
things with
No,
AIs. Yeah.
and I actually made a list here because I was thinking about this earlier and I went, oh my gosh, I have over 80 different
App-
software programs that I work with,
applications.
that
Yeah.
I pull together for everything.
Wow.
So here I'll give you the
The
basic
rundown.
lowdown of and rundown of some possibilities of what can be done, but pretty much
Okay.
it's getting to a place where anything can be done. Not surprisingly, right? Um, so first one that I like to do is I like to discover how someone's business works. Okay, that's more the me to you side of things. And what that is kind of uncovering inefficiencies and bottlenecks, right? Because that's where then AI and automation can step in and fix those problems. And some of those things can be um, using tools. Some of these you might have heard of: Zapier, right? Make, N8N, Go High Level. These are all systems that build out and integrate AI to do things like chatbots, virtual assistants, form workflows, document automations, process automations, KPI dashboards, uh, VA and staff enablement systems. So things like helping them get their job done quicker, right? So I've helped law firms where paralegals now have cut down the mundane tasks and now they're able to do more research, which is then also AI assisted as well. And then also jumping into website automations with AI integrations. And then that also gets into lead gen. So a lot of companies get very interested in automating their social media presence. I just built out, I say just, that's going back a couple weeks ago, I finished it out, but I just built out a fully automated social media automation for someone, and they're on 7 platforms, 7 different, so Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, and all of that's completely automated along with the responses. So if, hey, DM me for this or send this, and all those responses are then automated and then filtered through to the owner. So that's that's the general gist of mainly what AI offers right now.
Yeah, no, you said it's a lot of stuff. I mean, to your point,
It
they,
is.
but I like the approach how you say that you like to come from a holistic point of view, where it's like you want to
Mhm.
check out their day-to-day operations because you want to see if there's any inefficiencies or efficiencies where you could save time. Think about doing all the mundane stuff that people do, all the day-to-day stuff. So if you could do something that we can automate that, make it make their job much easier. Not so much of
Yeah.
taking over the job, because I think that's one of the biggest threats
No.
that people are always thinking of. Yo, I'm gonna become obsolete. You're taking over my job. No, it's gonna make their job much easier. Gonna release them to do other things that they'll be able to do. And but at the same time, you need a human touch with AI. I don't care how you slice it. You need
Oh, yeah,
somebody to supervise AI, to watch AI, and to
exactly.
you're always going to need a data AI. I like the connecting tools like Zapier and all that stuff. The connectors, I like
Mhm.
to use those connect the bridges. They build bridges to the different platforms,
Yeah,
different
no, they do.
applications too, so it makes it easier to use. Different. I know that I use Constant Contact, and I know that Zapier has that with Constant Contact, and they have a bridge that
Mhm.
you could type in. There's a lot of things you could do, and I guess at the end of the day, it's about information and data, how you procure and store your information, and how do you scale your information using AI.
Yeah. Well, and it makes firms, if someone's trying to grow a business and they're looking for that ability to expand, it's really good with AI because it is scalable. It's something where if I have a dashboard and you have multiple employees and you're adding employees, we can just add them into that, into all those automations, and they just become a part of those processes. So yeah, it's really interesting from there. And I like the example of a dentist I did work for, and the front desk lady goes, "Well, am I going to lose my job?" No, 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 no. You're not going to lose your job. Here's the best part: a lot of the bookings that get scheduled are now going to be done automatically, and a lot of the calls, the 24-hour calls, prior to your appointment, those are going to be taken care of, right? So that you don't have to do those, and you can focus on the people that are in front of you, right? Because no one wants to walk into a dentist office and not have someone greet them as they come into the door. So you're
Yeah.
going to have your job. It's just a matter of, can we make your job more managing those appointments and then dealing with the people right in front of you instead of being so scattered?
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be much. I think customer service is going to be much better. I think
Mm-hmm.
efficiency. I think we're going to be allowed to quicker. Things are going to move quicker and faster. There's not going to be no lines or queues. So imagine those DMV lines. Hopefully they get rid
Oh
of the
man,
DMV.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully they get rid of DMV lines. So get rid of
Yeah,
that.
they need to talk to someone like me. It doesn't have to be me, but they need to talk to someone and get that fixed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, listen, thank you so much for sharing your story. And if people want to get to learn more about you, what's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, I can give you my phone number, which is 717-818-3468. You'll reach me. You won't reach an AI bot if you call that number.
Okay.
My direct email is ryan@sigmastreet.io, sigmastreet.io, and sigmastreet.com or .io. Well, I always say .com, .io. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Just search Ryan Stambaugh. You'll see. I think I'm the only Ryan Stambaugh that has anything to do with AI that I've seen. So you'll
There you
find me
go.
pretty quick.
That's good, thank you. And I see you in your background, which is really smart enough that you put your email and your website in your background, so people
Yeah,
can
yeah,
read it.
it's
It's
right
right
there.
there, so it's
I don't
good.
know which side is it on. I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah, but it's up there. That's the
Yeah,
most important thing. But
yeah.
hey, Ryan, thank you so much for being a guest. And if you want to be a guest on Winning on Wednesday, simply go to our website, winningonwednesday.com, and sign up, and we'll see you next time. So thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you.